The October 4th, 2012 meeting of the Carlynton School Board is called to order. We'll first have our Pledge of Allegiance, and we have someone from Carnegie who will be doing it. You would introduce
Guys
our
want to come up
pledge.
here? We are lucky to have Xavier Helbig and Sam Snyder, fifth graders, and they are receiving their Arrow of the Light badge from Cub Scouts for the ones they moved to Boy Scouts. Do you guys want to say anything about what you had to do to get the Arrow of Light?
We had to pass through the levels of Cub Scouting, as you can see right here. The Bobcat, you can, it's easiest to earn if you're a Tiger Cub, which is the first one. The second one would be the Wolf. And then the third and final rank of a Scout is the Bear.
You guys want to show them?
Very good.
This is just this is a bag. This is something you earn.
You know, one comment that I'll make is I went through this same procedure that you did just many more years ago than you did. And I think I still have, I think the ranking of that is still the same as it was 50 years ago. I think those same badges I still have in a drawer somewhere.
That's right.
Oh, that's right.
You should be proud of
Yeah.
it.
Should
You
be
gonna
proud.
go for an eagle?
You
Good.
guys ready to pledge?
Behind you guys, as soon as everybody's standing up, as soon as you're ready, you can lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, and congratulations, guys. Well done. Secretary will call the roll.
Here. Director Sharifah. Director Shriver.
Here.
Director Apple.
He will not be here this evening.
Director Wilson.
Here.
Director Shell. Present. Director Wolf.
Here.
Director Sarah.
Here.
Director Russo.
Here. We'll turn now to public comment on business before the board. I did not get the sheet that was up there, but I will just turn to the audience, and if anyone here wants to come and address the board on an item on the agenda, now's your time to do it. If you're here to talk about something else, there'll be an opportunity to do that during our open forum session of the meeting. Seeing no one rise, we'll move on to the approval of the minutes. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the September 20th, 2012 meeting. Is there such a motion? Has been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? There being none, we will vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions, the motion carries. Moving now to executive session, to our reports, and I'll tell you that we had an executive session prior to this meeting where the board discussed personnel, contract issues, and some legal issues. I believe that's the full list. All right, I'll turn then to our superintendent, Mr. Pfeiffer, for administrator reports. Mr. Pfeiffer.
Thank you. So far as we're coming into October, here for the Carlynton School District, we've had a lot of events taking place that have been pretty exciting. This past Saturday, if anybody got to the band festival that was held at Holzwager Field, Mr. Obadowski and the band parents really did a nice job putting that together. Not only did the kids look sharp and played well, but the fireworks that took place were, for small fireworks, but were really, really good. And that was exciting. We've got homecoming coming up, senior high school open house next week. The kids are very excited about that. The Olveas kickoff program for a K-12 event that brought the school together and the mayors of Roslyn Farms and Carnegie. It was a nice feeling to see the kids, the high school kids, and the younger kids are so excited to come up and walk together on the track as a group to represent our community. It was a good feeling to see all the teachers unified with the administration in their Carlynton t-shirts to support the anti-bullying cause. That is a result of a lot of hard work from the administration, the faculty, and the support from the community. So that was a great event. So there's exciting things going on. Academically, as you know, we continue to prep for the Keystone exams that are coming up in December. We'll be giving the classroom diagnostic tests, which is a diagnostic test to see how well the kids are doing in algebra, biology, and English. We're getting those results by how the individual students are doing and getting them back to the teachers at the secondary level so they can look at the results of the students and begin to work on plans to help those kids set individual goals so they can pass those Keystone exams. The committees that we've set up, and I'll let my building principals talk about, the discipline committee, and let Lee talk about the 21st Century Learning Grant. We're working with the Course Select Board Committee to work on some of the scheduling concerns that's been discussed in this forum, but also amongst the faculty. And again, everything we're doing is looking for better ways, not only to educate our kids, but to reach out to the community. Because it really is a partnership between us and you, and how well our children do and how our community survive. So that's my report for these past 2 weeks. And I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Sassini to talk a little bit about what some of the other things the high school has been doing and to elaborate a little bit on what I've briefly touched base on.
Okay, with you, Mr. Pfeiffer, we'll let Mrs. Burns start, and I'll
Mrs.
follow
Burns?
The discipline committee has been meeting. We've met twice so far. We are currently in the process of collecting discipline policies from other school districts to look at and use as models and sort of find one that best fits our school. We're also looking at some research right now on what good discipline policies look like, as well as things like in-school suspension programs and the positive behavior supports and school-wide positive behavior support systems to help implement. Looking at some grant opportunities too to help fund the training for those things. So as a group, we're moving right along. We're meeting every other week, so our next meeting is next Tuesday. We would also like this week to congratulate our September Students of the Month. In grade 7, it's Nicole Allen. Grade 8, Callista Heidekamp. Grade 9, Brad Muehlman. Grade 10, Brad Mooring. Grade 11, Madigan Greiner. And grade 12, Vincent Castelli. The SAT prep class is also set to begin. It will start this Saturday, October 6th, and run from 10 a.m. to noon. We currently have a total of 21 students registered to take part in the program this fall. And on October 17th, the students will be taking the PSAT at the junior-senior high school, and that will be administered during the school day. And we currently have about 85 students registered to take the exam this year as well.
For students who will be taking that exam, is there a way that they can learn of things that they can do to help prepare themselves for the exam? I mean, certainly, you mentioned a prep class. The SAT is a different story. But the PSAT, are there things other than just some tips like get a good night's sleep the night before? Are there things in particular you'd recommend they do?
Well, I know the College Board website has a lot of great tips for students to look at and help them. It talks a lot about when to guess, when not to guess. But it's very similar to the SAT as far as those things.
So you'd suggest somebody go to the College Board, just Google College Board
Right.
on their website?
The collegeboard.com website has a lot of great tips. And a lot of our teachers and faculty, guidance counselors work a lot with those things too. So if there's some test anxiety, to feel free to reach out to an adult.
Not all parents of all 11th graders are privy to this.
Right.
No
Right.
parents like to check it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I'd also say too, PSATs give students feedback in terms of where their areas of strength and other areas that they might want to work on prior to taking the actual SAT. So I think that's where there's also great value in that test. In terms of committees, we have a meeting, as Mr. Pfeiffer said, we do have the course selection committee that will continue to meet. We're planning on meeting the next in-service day, next Friday, the 12th. Also, we're finishing up our work on our school improvement plan due to our school improvement standing right now. So we'll have that to the board for review by the end of this month because we have to get that out to Harrisburg by the end of November. As Mr. Pfeiffer mentioned, we also have homecoming coming up, and also in addition to crowning the king and queen, we also have the annual homecoming parade in Carnegie next Friday. So I want to remind everybody it's going to start a little bit earlier than it has in the past because of our 7 o'clock football kickoff. So probably around 5:45, we should get wheels on the bus turning. So in addition to that, we just want to offer our sincere congratulations to the boys varsity soccer team. They've earned a place in the WPIL playoffs. This is a team that won one game last year, and they are 9-2-2 at present. And special congratulations and recognition should go to our first-year head coach, Mr. Charlie Dagnall, his staff, as well as the players. We wish them the best. Also this morning, and I think you'll see this on the conferences and so on to be approved, the Carlynton Marching Band was informed that we got permission to participate in the My Macy's Holiday Parade. That's the annual parade in downtown Pittsburgh that's held this year will be at the 24th, but it's the Saturday after Thanksgiving. It's always televised, and it's a big deal. So we want to congratulate Mr. Obadowski as well as the rest of the marching band. Just wanted to bring up one thing that was mentioned at the last meeting about the student representative or student member to Crafton Council. Our junior student of the month, Madigan Griner, is going to be our representative, and we're also going to work with Carnegie to try to identify a student representative to their borough council as well.
Ms. Hudson?
Couple things on the newsletter that we have. Carnegie Tower Power Hours started last week, and actually this is still funding from last year. The new funding should happen where we're trying to add another teacher because there's been such an overflow of kids, so there'll actually be 4 teachers there. But that won't happen until November. But we were able to use the extra money from last year to start earlier this year, and then we're going to start with the 4th teacher when the last year's money runs out. So big thanks to Grable. I think there's been a lot of kids involved, and it's really been a nice homeschool connection for many of our students at Carnegie. I'd like to thank Mayor Probistic and Detective Boros and Officer Quattro, as well as Officer Dax, who came to visit us for our 6th grade. We started our career lunch, so we got to learn about law enforcement, and it was nice to have Officer Dax there to show how important the dog is to our police force. And if you listen to Y108, Jimmy Roach at 7 o'clock, you can see the dates. He came around and recorded classes in K1 and 2. He's saying the Pledge of Allegiance. So that's how he starts his radio show every day, and a couple of our classmates will be featured that way. So, thank you.
Any questions?
Dr. Maslin?
I did give everyone a newsletter, but I did want to just announce the Students of the Month at Crafton for September. In kindergarten, Jamison Griner. 1st grade, Abby Tomaszewski. 2nd grade, Jaden McClure. 3rd grade, Dream Keys. 4th grade, Victoria Marks. 5th grade, Dallas Polino. And 6th grade, Ashley Rogers. Our Student of the Month program is a part of our Positive Behavior Support Plan. We're continuing that, and this month's focus is loyalty. So we're looking for students to display that in and around school and give them positive recognition for displaying that attribute.
Thank you.
Any questions for any person?
For the positive behavior programs that you work in Crafton newsletter, any donations would be welcome. So is that
We always love to get good things. We'd like to give some kind of token to the Students of the Month. For example, some of them this month asked if they could be, one wants to be the kindergarten teacher for the day. Somebody wants to be the librarian for the day. So we do try to offer rewards that aren't monetary, but we always appreciate games or gift cards and anything that want to donate.
and same thing for Carnegie?
For our Hudson Heroes, we actually got their Hudson Hero tattoos, that little H says has been a big hit this year. We have pencils and a certificate. But we do it a little bit different where it's through the class. But each Thursday, we give out pods. We meet in the auditorium. So we recognize students for any good deed that they have done, from hard work, for opening the door, and all students and all teachers and staff can give it. We've had students give to some teachers, which has been really excited. So students are recognized weekly. So it's more a little bit frequent for not just a specific student of the month, but we also will accept anything that can be given our way. So those are just a little bit different things that we've done.
For everybody out there, they'll accept.
Yeah. We don't turn away any donations.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Ms. Martin?
I left two handouts for everyone today. One is just about the student assistance program at the junior senior high, if you wanted to look at that. And the second one is a review of the after-school tutoring that we had last year for special education. I know the question has come up when we talk, and it's on the agenda, when we talk about it every year, what were the effects last year of having the program. So there's a summary there for you of last year. Just for the special education component, which you probably remember we've run 3 years now through the Access Special Education Funding, not through local dollars. It was specifically for at-risk learners, so the information you have is for the at-risk learners. And just for your general knowledge, if you have any specific questions, let me know. It was not a huge expense, and we've, like I said, done it for years. In regard to the 21st Century Grant, I've been to 2 meetings now with the Department of Education, and they've challenged us to do things a little bit differently than how their proposal was written. So next week, we'll have an advisory committee meeting, and then they plan to start after the advisory committee meeting.
Questions? Thank you.
Mr. Christie?
Yes, last week, the Department of Education posted the Act 1 index, and what the Act 1 index is the rate that we may raise taxes without voter determination or apply for exceptions. The rate that was published was 2.1%. It's interesting that that rate is the same rate that was for us for the 12-13 year, 2.1%. What it represents is that once the reassessment is done, and we have the new figures of our tax assessment, we'll do a calculation to lower our millage, make us revenue neutral, and at that point we can go up an additional 2.1%. I don't know what those figures will be because we don't have the assessments until January. But, we're keeping apprised, we're keeping on top of this so we can keep you apprised of what's going on. That concludes my report.
Any questions for Mr. Christie? Thank you. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. We'll move on now to a business before the board. First item to see is a motion to approve the following conference and field trip request is presented. And you see that list which starts on page 1 and continues on to page 2. Is there such a motion to approve this list?
So moved.
It has been moved. Is there a second? Moved and seconded. Any discussion? There being none, we will vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Abstentions, the motion carries. Under finance, we have 4 items. Number 1, the treasurer's report for the month of August 2012 is presented. Number 2, August 2012 bills in the amount of $1,997,455.06. Number 3, awarding the bid for a backflow preventer and strainer for the fire line at Carlynton Elementary to Lakewood Mechanical. Lowest responsible bidder in the amount of $7,140. Number 4, repairs to the boiler at Carlynton Elementary School by Lakewood at a cost not to exceed $4,000. Do I have a motion for those 4 items? So it has been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Please identify the item you wish to discuss by its number.
Number 4.
Yes, sir.
Is this the boiler that is currently out of service?
Yes.
And concerning the boiler at Carnegie that's out of service, what are the plans?
Well, we'll go back through and I'll get with John about talking to Lakewood and other companies to go through and give us some estimates on what those repairs cost. It's my understanding from each boiler, given the age, the needs of each boiler are different. So,
Understood. So that's something that we're going to be examining.
yes.
And just, go ahead, sorry.
This doesn't pertain particularly specifically to these items, but what is the amount of money that is the cutoff before it has to go out for bid?
That went up. It just went up this year, and I'm going off the top of my head. 18.5, I believe, is the amount for bidding when you have to go out and get, advertised and so on. I believe it used to be 4,000 to 10,000. You had to get 3 quotes. I think that's now 10,000 and above. And then below 10,000, you can still do the telephonic quotes the way you used to be able to do for the 0 to 3,000 before. I could be off $1 or so in that share rate, so I think that's.
Is that your recollection?
I believe those figures are 100% accurate. That's my memory.
We're either both right on or we're both lost in it.
With regard to number 4, following up Ray's question, we are, of course, are talking about major renovations in this district, but this is, they're going to take some time, meaning a year or 2, maybe 3. These are actions taken to see to it that we've got the second boiler in place.
That's right.
In Craft, we're looking at Carnegie as well, really to get us to guarantee that we're going to be sort of protected and have heat at least for this period.
That's right.
Okay. Otherwise, we might consider just getting more boilers. Well, we are going to consider getting more boilers, but we're not doing that at this point in time. We're going to make this part of an overall plan.
Right.
Other questions on these items? If not, we will vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions, the motion passes. Under personnel, you'll see we have 9 items. Number 1, approve the following additions to the day-to-day sublist. Number 2, approving high school teachers Michael Cozy and Melinda Orovitz for the positions of SAT prep facilitators for the 12-13 year. That was number 2. Number 3, the following, we have a number of 8 positions in conjunction with the posting of September 7, 2012. I will note that the last individual I was informed, that name should be struck, so there will be 1, 2, the first 5 names are what we are voting on, the last one is struck. Number 4, approving 8 positions in conjunction with the posting of September 17th, consistent with the terms of the secretarial cafeteria aid bargaining unit. Number 5, the posting for the positions of 4 after-school tutors for 1 hour per day, 3 times per week, for an after-school tutoring program to be offered at Carnegie and Carlynton Elementary Schools, funded with the accountability block grant. Number 6, posting a position of 2 after-school tutors for 1 hour per day, 4 hours per week, for an after-school tutoring program to be offered at the junior senior high school, funded through Access. Number 7, addition to the 12-13 athletic supplementalist, Dave Kosek as varsity assistant girls basketball coach. Number 8, Nancy McMullen as a temporary life skill aide at Carnegie Elementary. And 9, additional tutoring positions to fill the open postings for the 21st Century Learning Community Program as submitted. We have those names. Do I have a motion for those 9 items? There is a motion. Is there a second?
I second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Identify the item you wish to discuss by its number.
I was wondering, item 5 and 6, how they relate to 9. Programs are different, so.
You're referring to the postings for some tutors at Carnegie and Crafton and at the high school, as well as the tutoring program for 21st Century Learning.
Right. Is it clear what students will be utilizing? It sounds like there's 2 different programs, after-school tutoring and then the 20.
I can speak to 6 and 9. So
Here we go.
9 would be grades 5, 6, 7, and 8. Number 6 would be the handout that I had given for the at-risk learners, and it would only be grades 9 to 12. It would be high school students we would consider at-risk.
In the after-school program, number 5, which has been in Carlynton and Carnegie, traditionally we use that as a PSSA prep, and it's for grades 3, 4, and 5. I know because the 21st Century Grant is going to be housed in Carnegie, I know that Mrs. Hudson was maybe going to change those grade levels just slightly, but we've always kind of targeted ours at students who needed extra support in math and reading for the PSSA.
What about 6th grade? That would help them.
We've kind of lumped those in. If we have 6th graders who are in need, we often will use the 5th and 6th grade as one. And luckily, Mr. Nagorski usually runs that for us, and he does a fabulous job of differentiating between the grades.
All of our
So we try not to exclude.
All of our elementary school students that are taking the PSSA that may be identified as needing some advanced instruction and consultation are going to get that.
Yes, and we've had parents whose students in the past have been proficient and said, can my child come anyway? And if we have the room, we welcome them to attend as well.
And then, David, sorry, number 8, is that a new position that's just been identified?
No, the person that initially bid into it is on, she's off medical leave. So that was the temporary sub that took that position. position because she's on medical leave. And just Carnegie, since the 21st Century Grant will be housed, our 5th and 6th graders are going to be going to that, so it'll be second through 4th grade for the accountability grant. Just see the little difference.
Thank you.
Further questions?
Well, I guess I do have a question, and maybe you can answer it, please. I see that two of the positions are for science, and one's for guidance. I was wondering if you could just give us
Just
a
number
little. Number 9. Yes, for grades, I believe you said 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, I can, but it's gonna be a long answer. Those
No,
are
I just
the-
want, just to have some
Forget it.
idea of what these positions are being used for.
Okay, well, these are the positions that were not filled. We brought them on a previous agenda. So there are about 16 positions within this grant. These are the
Okay,
ones.
these are positions that must be filled.
Yes, these needed to be filled before we started, especially the guidance, because guidance is going to be the outreach to parents and for the volunteers that we talked about.
Okay.
So these are really essential to getting the program started.
Okay.
So we're trying very hard to get them filled. So
I just wanted to see how that fit into the, the overall program.
Well,
I was
guidance-
surprised to see that. I actually asked Michelle if that was a mistake.
No, the
Because I-
guidance counselor was written into the grant as a position that organized all the community outreach with parents,
Okay.
adult mentors.
That explains it.
agencies.
Yes, thank you.
Any further questions? If there are no questions, we will vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions, the motion carries. Under policy, we have the concussion policy, number 123.1. I believe we've offered it a first reading more than 30 days ago. So actually, at this point in time, I believe we are in a position to approve the policy. So perhaps what I would do is entertain a motion to approve the concussion policy, policy number 123.1. Do I have such a motion?
So moved.
It has been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? There being none, we will vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions, the motion carries. Moving on to unfinished business, is there any unfinished business the director would like to bring up at this point in time? There being no unfinished business, we'll move on to new business. I have 3 motions that I'd like to see made. The first motion is a motion to eliminate the positions of 1, Director of Technology, and 2, Network Facilitator. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
There is a motion. Is there a second? Moved and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? There being none, we will vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions, the motion carries. Motion number 2. I would entertain a motion to regretfully sever the employment relationship between Robert Michelet and Frank Sacco, effective October 4th, 2012. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
There is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? There being none, we will vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions, the motion carries. Number 3, I'll entertain a motion to authorize the superintendent to arrange for technology services for an interim period with the Allegheny Intermediate Unit. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Has been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? There being none, we will vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions, the motion carries. Is there any further new business the director would like to bring up at this point in time?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Director Schreiber.
There was some discussion in previous weeks about the various aides and teachers that we hired, and then we had some follow-up discussion after that. And so perhaps for future discussion, the concept of what we as a board are doing, what process we might want to have as we're hiring new people to check with Kirby on budget issues and make sure we're within our comfort zone. And I think I personally, I apologize, was negligent in not confirming some of those elements, and perhaps in the future we can do that. And I think subsequent conversation led to a confirmation that we should be fine based on historical numbers, but we might want to add something like that in the future.
And I would piggyback onto that perhaps while it is appropriate to see that we are within the appropriate range, there may also be instances where there are positions which we need that we just want to be aware of the ramifications, financial ramifications to the district, whether within a range or not. If we need to do it, we need to do it, we need to plan appropriately for it. But what I hear from you is, let's go into it eyes wide open.
But we were given that information, I mean, we had, there's potential ranges.
Yes. Yes.
We didn't, it wasn't, I don't want to have the impression out there that we went in line like, oh, we don't care what cost, let's go. And we were.
Well, what I take from Mr. Schreiber's comments is more of an overall impact, not just an individual position, but just with everything else that's going on now and everything that's going to go in the future. Absolutely, absolutely. So, anything else under new business? There being nothing else, we move on to open forum. I'll first turn to the audience. Is there anything anyone would like to bring up under open forum to this board? There being nothing, I'll turn to the board. Anything else under open forum that anyone would like to bring up at this point in time?
Just that we are moving forward with looking at
Yes.
different options for what to do with our building and facilities down the road.
In fact, we had appointed, we'd asked 3 of our directors, Director Koviak, Driver, and Sarah, to review possible managers to help us with this. And I believe that they've identified someone who will be meeting after this meeting to prepare a recommendation to this board for its next meeting. So we thank you in advance for your hard work. Anything else? There being nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. It has been moved. Is there a second? Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Abstentions? Meeting is adjourned.